Hi, my name's Amanda. Welcome. I'm a coach and I'm a channel. And twice a week, I've been coming live on YouTube to channel spirit and provide you with some different experiences. On Mondays, I like to channel a guided experience. And so, what you're about to tune into is a way for you to get back in touch with all of the things ultimately that you've been searching for and trying to create and access in your life. These experiences are a guided meditation and somatic experience designed every single week is a little bit different and has a little bit of a different theme, but they're designed to help you learn how to get really, really present inside of a moment, tune into your own energy, your own feelings, your sensations inside of your body, building awareness with what's here and now so that you can understand exactly what's there, what you're feeling, how it's being expressed through you, and learn how to shift those experiences so that you can feel differently. So, for example, if what you feel often is loneliness, then connection might be something that you're seeking. And there's an element of connection inside of you, connection with your sense of self, with the deepest parts of you that have perhaps gone unnoticed for a long time. And it doesn't matter how many people you're around or how many activities you take part in and how rich your social life is, there's still this element of loneliness that lingers there. So these experiences help to bridge that gap for you so that you become better in touch with why that feeling is there and how to understand it, create awareness around it, and experience it differently. Or if self self-loathing or resentment is something that you hold inside of you, and that is a common experience that I'm familiar with, is really disliking parts of myself, wishing that I could fix them, change them, alter them, escape them, um, and ultimately get rid of them or suppress them. And that creates a lot of heaviness to carry day to day. And so, understanding how to hold space for those feelings rather than trying to get rid of them or outrun them allows you to begin to understand what those feelings are trying to call your attention to so that you can begin to find a freedom from that. So, all of these feelings that we feel every single day, or experiences that we're either aware of or unaware of, or feeling deeply or that are simmering under the surface, are all here to teach us something, help us uncover new awareness about ourselves, and learning how to learning how to experience them from a new place, from a higher perspective, from more loving and accepting energy allows us to experience ourselves in a whole new way. And you're essentially retraining how you see you, how you feel inside of you, and giving yourself permission to make different choices and have different experiences as a result. And when we take the time to do these things, we're also opening up our intuition. We're taking the time and creating the space to get in touch with our deepest sense of self, which is where our intuition lies, where all of our wisdom and higher knowing is accessed, where a connection to source consciousness, to our soul selves, and all of the light beings around us is accessed. And when we take the time to open ourselves to creating those connections, we learn what it feels like to get in touch with those energies and the deepest parts of who we are, and creating a consistent schedule inside of doing that allows that connection to be more readily available. And something inside of this episode today that I think is going to come up is how we very, very subtly and very unconsciously avoid those parts of us, like our intuition, the deepest parts of us that knows something bigger or something more, something deeper, because there's a little bit of fear there without realizing it. What are we going to uncover? What are we going to be forced to face? What are we going to have to feel? What if we uncover something about ourselves that we really don't like? Or what if we're told something that we really don't want to hear? And all of those fears creates this wall that we put up. And this is a wall ultimately that blocks our connection to ourselves, because that's what our intuition is. It's a connection to a higher part of who we are. And when we fear those things, when we have belief systems about what experiences like that might entail for us, without realizing it, we hold them at arm's length. And what we're actually doing is we're holding ourselves at arm's length, and we are creating a disconnection within. And that is part of the loneliness that we feel. That is part of the self loathing or judgment that we feel. That is why we are always looking outside of us, chasing some external goal in the hopes that we're going to feel differently internally. But what ends up happening is we never allow ourselves to, because we're always holding that energy at arm's length. We don't want to feel anything too deeply, because if we do, we might have to feel something really uncomfortable. And so it almost becomes this tug of war between building this connection to spirit, building this connection to your soul self requires you to open your heart and to feel more deeply. But then there's a part of you that fears that, doesn't want that, and almost closes yourself off ever so slightly from that. And so learning how to feel from a place of welcoming, like a welcoming embrace, rather than a hesitation or worry of all of the guck that you might find there, becomes a really gentle practice of very slowly tiptoeing into that kind of way of showing up or type of experience that you're looking to have. And so I think today we're going to be exploring that, exploring how we've gone in the past, how we've gone about accessing our feelings in the past, and how we've held ourselves through experiences like that, and how we can begin to do it differently so that our experience of ourselves in situations like that or in moments like that is different and feels a lot less scary and a lot more welcoming, warm, exciting, and inviting. And exploring what that could be like if you begin to approach it from that perspective. So I'm just going to, the way this works is, if you're new here, is I close my eyes, I tune into spirit, and I allow them to guide you through this experience. I give you an opportunity to get really comfortable, and I take you on a little bit of a journey. And then at the end, we reconvene and we have a chance to kind of unpack the experience. You have an opportunity to ask me questions live about anything that you experienced, any realizations that you might have had, any discomfort that came up or challenges that came up or anything that you're unsure about, and you have the floor to receive support. And so I'm just going to double check and see if there's anything else they want to share with you guys before we get started. Is there anything else you want to say about this? They're saying the experience of your humanity is whatever you make of it, is whatever you desire for it to be. And if your experience has of yourself inside of this reality, inside of your life, has been like kind of like an up and down one, where sometimes you really don't feel that great about you, and you really want to figure out a way to avoid who you are or change who you are or rectify things about you, they're saying that that is what guided you here, is this understanding that the spiritual path is going to provide that for you. Is like, okay, how do I create a purpose that I can follow and manifest that will allow me to love myself more than I do, or become this version of me that I'm proud of because I don't feel that way now, or create this like ascended, enlightened experience of you that feels so distant from the lesser version that you are now. And there's this belief system that that's what this is, that that's what the spiritual journey is. It's about further creating this divide without realizing that that's what you're doing. And they want to really flip that paradigm on its head and invite you into a different perspective. One of the spiritual experience being opening up to who you already are and allowing that version of you to excite you, allowing that version of you to motivate you, and allowing yourself to be enamored with who you already are in the present tense and exploring life and reality from that perspective and what might unfold for you when you begin to see you in a whole new light. And that is ultimately what they're encouraging you forward into today and every day moving forward. Beautiful. Is there anything else that you'd like to say about this? They're saying give it time because shifting how you feel inside of you might require that. You have been so used to disliking you, hating on you, and being harsh on you. And it almost feels like a cop out not to. And that is part of what they want to help you navigate today is without realizing it, you don't want to operate differently on some level. It feels wrong. It feels like the easy way out. And why would you want to if you're not going to be as hard on yourself, then you're not going to achieve as much greatness. And they want to begin to reflect how that very dynamic is playing out for you and how it's almost getting in the way of the thing that you say that you want. Okay. So that was a lot of deep stuff right off the bat. So I want you to take a second, take a deep breath, and take this opportunity to find a safe, comfortable space to go on a little adventure with me and with us and with you. So find a nice place that you can sit or lie down, someplace really comfortable, someplace that you feel really safe, someplace quiet and alone where you're not going to be disturbed or bothered for like the next 25 to 30 minutes. And you're welcome to have a pad of paper and a pen nearby so that you can take notes or your phone open so that you can take notes on your notepad and your phone. Sometimes these experiences reveal things that we didn't realize, new information, new insight. And if you want an opportunity to jot that down, sometimes that's really helpful. And then you can come back to that because it tends to intuitive information, which is what that is, tends to slip away quickly if we don't write it down and take some time to really sit with it and come back to it. And they're just saying they really want you to be in the moment with this. So don't worry about taking notes. You'll have an opportunity to do that at the end. So that's something that they really want to highlight is this is an experience that cannot be replicated. It can only be accessed in the moment as it is. It's never something that can be duplicated exactly. And that is the beauty of what these experiences are. It's a unique experience of you inside of this energetic experience. And allowing yourself to fully like surrender to that and open up to that is what they're inviting you into. Okay. You guys ready? All right. So if you're here with me enjoying this experience, I just want you to close your eyes in your comfortable space. And just breathing deeply and normally. And just exhaling and really like feeling the release of that exhale. As you're breathing deeply, every exhalation that you make, you just become aware of how much tension was there that you're able to release in this now moment. Just allowing your body to get really heavy with the surface that is supporting it, just feeling the weight of your body sinking right down into it. And we're just going to start with your feet, just uncurling your toes and allowing your feet to just fully relax, feeling the weight of your feet and your heels sinking down into the floor. and moving up to your calves, letting all of the muscles in your calves and your thighs fully relax. Noticing if you're holding any tension in your butt cheeks, just releasing it. Letting your belly expand fully with each breath, noticing if you're holding there. If you're breathing shallow, letting your belly rise and fall. And just noticing how often you allow your breath to drop in that deeply. Have you been holding all day long without realizing it? And what does it feel like to allow air to fill your belly? And just relaxing and exhaling with each breath. Having gratitude for the permission to fully release that tension and allow full breaths of air. And just coming all the way up through your gut and through your torso and your lungs, just allowing all the tension to release, noticing if there was tightness in your chest or if there still is. Just becoming aware of it. It doesn't have to relax, but you're just encouraging relaxation if relaxation is available, and offering support and compassion if it's not. All experiences are welcome in this safe space. And just feeling your shoulder blades resting against whatever surface is supporting it, allowing your arms to dangle, weighting down into the floor or whatever chair or couch is supporting you. Feeling the weight of your head sinking back into whatever surface is beneath it. And how good it feels to just fully let go. And how rare you give yourself permission to do that. And noticing any emotion that comes up inside of this release. If anxiousness comes to your awareness, if there's this unsettling or sudden surge of emotion, it's just your body giving you thank you. Wow, I didn't realize how much tension I was holding. And now that it's giving permission to be here and to be welcome and to be let go of, just this excess energy coming up and out, that's all it is. And having gratitude for your ability to provide that experience. And they just want you to lie here, enjoying the presence of your own energy and the body that carries it. We move through life and we don't often remember the work that our body does every minute of every day to keep us going. And we only have one, this incredibly beautiful container that you're existing inside of in this reality, this container that lives through you, that you are embodying inside of this life. It's giving you life in a different way. Yes, you exist on some level without it, but inside of this reality, it is very much the vehicle that you use to navigate this world. And it's moving through this reality alongside you and with you. And it's growing and it's changing as you do. And it's reciprocating and creating this symbiotic relationship with you where you give it whatever you're feeling and it gives that energy right back to you in whatever way you are perceiving is best for you to experience. And in this way, you and your physical body are one and the same, and also learning and growing from each other and constantly acting as a mirror for the experiences that you're desiring to have. Your body is allowing you to experience them, and you are feeling them in this physical way. And just holding that awareness of your body in this moment, all of the work that it's doing for you, that it has always done for you, and that it will continue to do for you. how other people perceive you, it is how you perceive you often, but there is so much disallowance of it or forgetfulness of it or a desire to do away with it, fix it, change it, alter it. And why? What for? What if in this moment your physical body is just here to support you, just as spirit is here to support you, just as I'm here to support you? And just holding that in the back of your mind today, that your body is doing everything it can to assist you in everything you're asking for it to. But sometimes, just like you do, it carries limitations. And it is important to remember that, to have compassion for that. It can only show up to the extent that you allow it to. And where it falls short is a mirror for where you are perceiving your own limitations to exist. But what if those limitations are by design? What if you entered into this reality with the desire to experience limitation? What if there's a gift inside of the perception of limitation where limitation doesn't truly exist, but the nature of this reality allows you to perceive that it does? What could limitation offer you that maybe you haven't been willing to see? Well, it allows you to question and second guess what's possible. It allows you to reflect on what's needed. And it gives you all of the varying opportunities to challenge those things, to challenge the nature of possibility itself, to challenge the very idea of your own capacity and potential and reality. And what if your physical body is here to reflect that right back to you? That the nature of your reality is your perception of it. And where you're perceiving that your body falls short of what you would like it to do or to be is simply here to remind you to shift your perspective. Maybe it's not your physicality that's holding you back, but the very nature of how you perceive what it's here to offer you. What is it here to offer you? A space to be, a space to feel, and a space to explore. Any other ideas that you have for it, any other purpose that you might feel you're supposed to get out of it or wish that it could provide for you? What if you're ready to let go of that? And what if that is the limitation? It's how you've been perceiving its role in your role alongside it. What if the very nature of this physical existence is to experience how deeply you can press the boundaries of your own ideas? And what is the idea that's been calling to you that you have felt unable to access? I just want you to take a moment and allow that question to percolate. If it's true that your perceptions of you are the very limitation that you're fighting against, what is something that you don't perceive to be possible, but that you would love it if it could be? I just want you to hold that vision front and center and ask yourself, what about this idea hasn't felt possible for me? Where am I perceiving the limitation? And how can I begin to see that limitation differently? Because it's not the thing that you're creating that's not possible for you, but it's how you're perceiving your ability to create it that is. And what if you began to question how you perceive your ability to create? What could it look like if that limitation that you're perceiving didn't exist? How would you move towards this reality, this idea of this reality in your mind differently? And what would it feel like to effortlessly just go and do and be without the heaviness of this feeling of I can't? Just letting that idea of I can't just dissipate, quiet a little bit inside of this dream-like reality that we're creating, where limitations of the physical don't exist. And I just want you to allow that vision to take form. And notice that inside of this dream reality, the only limitations that exist are the ones that you perceive. And as soon as you say, well, inside of this dream reality, I can make whatever rules I want. And therefore, this limitation no longer exists for me. And boom, just like that, it's gone. With the snap of a finger, it's gone. And you create a whole new reality in return. What if it was just as easy in the physical? And the only thing that's been holding you back is how you've been perceiving the physical. What if the limitation you were perceiving can be seen differently in real life too? And as soon as you perceive it differently, the path forward lights up differently. And you take forward action and forward momentum in a whole new way. And what that feels like to no longer be held back by those same limited beliefs. Did anything really change about you when you think about it that way? Or is it just how you think about it that way that did? This is not necessarily an exercise about creating a path toward your dreams. That is an opportunity that is open for you anytime, any place, as long as you wish to go there. This is an experience to reflect back to you where your limitations truly exist within your mind, within a part of you that didn't see how to show up from a new perspective because they were so attached to the limitations that they perceived were there. But if you can begin to see you in a new way and perceive what you've been feeling to be a limitation as an opportunity, a way to get curious, a way to challenge your belief systems, then your whole paradigm begins to take new shape. And perhaps that's what's calling to you. Not necessarily an outcome that's waiting to be realized, but a reality in which you create you through the limitless possibility that you feel is true. And inside of that reality, what limitations still exist? when all limitation is perspective? Where does your physical body look and feel different inside of that world? How can you see the beauty that exists there that you weren't allowing yourself to see before because all you could see were limitations? And how does it feel to exist inside of that reality where all of the limitations that you thought you saw, you now see differently? Is your body truly limited? Or is it simply reflecting back to you where you haven't been willing to see you fully and truly in the way you've been wanting to, which is limitless? They want you to take a moment to really allow this message to sink in and to begin to witness all of the areas in your life where you have been choosing to see limitation, that we're simply offering you an opportunity to see differently. And all of the avenues that become available to you when you see things that way, when you choose a new perspective, and when you offer to yourself the limitless potential that truly exists in you. And that only comes down to how much you are willing to challenge you and the status quo that you didn't realize you were holding so dearly. Moving forward from this experience, they want you to take one thing away from this, which is, how can I begin to take note of all of the areas in my life where I have felt stuck, motionless, challenged, and frustrated, and begin to ask myself, where am I unwilling to see the path forward because I have been so stuck inside of this one way of operating and one perspective of me, my life, and how I've been choosing to show up? And where can I begin to allow all of the things that are already here and use them to my advantage? And how can I take that information and apply it to as many different places and ways as possible, and fully anchor into my magnetism, which is who I already am, and how I desire to feel and be here and now, and allowing that version of you to move forward from today, feeling empowered and knowing that anything is possible as long as you give yourself permission to truly believe that for you, this version of you, and every version of you that's you give birth to moving forward. The path that lights its way forward for you from this moment on is the path that you give yourself permission to see, the path that you give yourself permission to feel, and the path that's created as a byproduct of your willingness to see it and feel it within you first. You can't create a path of limitless potential that doesn't fully exist inside of you here and now. And it's up to you to give yourself permission to create it and then move towards it, knowing that the only thing that you'll ever truly feel limited by is your unwillingness to challenge the things in your life that have been there this whole time to offer this gift to you. to receive it and to work with it. And your team of light, they're all around you right now, and they're letting you know that they will walk that path forward with you if you're willing to. But it's not up to them to show it to you. It's up to them to guide you. But the guidance is going to come from believing and trusting in you. And that is how they've been trying to support you. Not by giving you answers on the action steps and the path forward, but by encouraging you to question the status quo and to perceive you in a new light and to offer you an opportunity to feel and be and know from that energy and create any reality that you want in return. They want you to take this moment and come up with whatever intention you want to set from this message, whatever intention that you're feeling called to call forward for you now that you've been given, now that you've been offered a new awareness and an opportunity to do something with it. Hold that intention, set that intention, let them know that this is your intention, and offer them into this experience of creation with you. And trust that they are going to help guide you as long as you're willing to believe in you, trust in you, and feel the momentum rising inside of you, regardless of what life throws at you. Because all that life is here to mirror back to you is how and where you perceive you, your limitations of you, in all the ways that you can challenge that, challenge you, and rise as a byproduct. Take your time. I want you to come back into your body, just remembering where you are, allowing the surface beneath you to become noticed, having awareness of the sensations of the surroundings that you're in, the surface beneath you, the blankets and pillows around you, moving your limbs and slowly opening your eyes and coming back to the present moment when you're ready. And if this experience feels complete for you, you're welcome to hop off of this live. But if you'd like to stick around and receive some support, I'm here. If you have questions about your experience, I'm here. And if this experience brought up anything in particular for you that you would like to talk through with spirit, with me, let me know, and I would love to support you. I would love to create clarity, and I would love to just be a support system for as long as you want to be here with me. That was not the direction I thought that this was going, but I loved that. The more I have operated from this perspective that reality really comes down to choices and that we create our reality from our belief systems, the more I have been able to bear witness to all the ways that I so subtly hold myself back and only perceive doubt, scarcity, in my own shortcomings. And I'm so quick to expecting to see those things, to find those things, and to show up from that energy that I almost create a reality where that's all I experience. And it has become a practice of really taking personal responsibility for all the ways that I'm holding myself back and placing blame onto other people, places, and things for my perceived inability or incapability. And the more that I take a step back, take a deep breath, take personal responsibility for where am I not seeing what's possible for me? Where am I afraid? Where am I holding myself back? Where am I not seeing something that is needed from me? The more I perceive new avenues that have led to so much growth and so much um, potential that just wasn't there otherwise. But it was up to me to take a step back and to look for it and then to move towards it. And spirit has supported me inside of that journey. They've they never, I was going to say very rarely, but it's actually they never show up and say, do this thing or take this step or this is the option or this is what you want to do or this is what you want to say. This is who you reach out to. They've always, I have to be the one to claim what I want, ask them for help. An idea will pop into my mind, and then I have to be the one to reach out to that person or to create that experience and put myself in a position where I'm going to challenge all of my limited beliefs. And that is how my path has unfolded for me. And I have grown so much as a byproduct and accomplished things I never thought I could. But it has all come from the willingness to constantly question my own thoughts, my own belief systems, and my own limitations. Hi, Stacy. I'm so glad that feels complete. So I think if that's the case, I'm going to close this down for today. Is there anything else that you would like to say at the end of this experience today? They're saying belief in you is what you came here to do. Outside of this physical reality, believing in you is much simpler because there is nothing that is not you. You are all things and you perceive yourself to be all things. And so there is not really the same perception of limitation because limitation doesn't exist when all possibilities exist at once. Like there's nothing that is not possible when all that is possibility itself. And so we come into this physical world seeing ourselves from a singular perspective and seeing everything that we want to lie outside of us is a byproduct of how this reality is set up. And it almost creates this paradigm where we perceive the limitation to be internal and that we have to overcome something about who we are in order to get the thing out there. And they want you to begin to question that belief system that the limitation is in here at all. Is the limitation truly in you, or is the limitation in simply in how you are perceiving you? And how can you begin to perceive you differently in order to see that the limitations that you thought were there were simply here in you, like in your, not in you, who you actually are, but in your idea of who you are. And the only way to do that is to shift the idea of who you are and the nature of who that you believe that you are. And it's not that your external reality will begin to change, is that you will perceive it differently because you will perceive you differently. You will perceive everything differently, and you will show up from that place and create a reality that you couldn't before because you will perceive opportunity that you couldn't before. But it all comes down to your desire to do that, to challenge you, your beliefs about you, and the way that you see and feel inside of you. And that is the gift that spirit gives you. It's not the thing that you want necessarily, like the outcome or the objective. It's the way that you approach creating it, which is from a place of self-belief rather than self-denial. And it is that connection inside of you that is what they were referring to at the very beginning of this. These experiences are here for you to anchor into a new frequency inside of you. And if you are used to operating from a place of not believing in you and not seeing the potential in you, this was an opportunity to see and feel something different and to take this forward in whatever way you feel best. And this experience will be available to you today, and it will be available to you every Monday moving forward. If this is something that you would like to step into with me and rediscover the very nature and essence of you in the process, and offering you a whole new world to experience when you're willing to experience you differently. Thank you so much for being here inside of this experience with me today. I would love to hear from you how this went. I would love to hear your questions about this. I would love to hear what your experience was like. I would love to hear anything that you were challenged by or any insight that came to you from this. So feel free to leave those comments below. And I'm looking forward to connecting with you and having that exchange with you and joining you inside of this experience again next time. Have a great rest of your day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you next week. Bye.